Namaste everyone. Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to today's podcast. Today I want to talk about pain, not happiness, not success, not money, pain. Because I believe many of us spend our entire lives trying to escape pain without first understanding what pain actually is. And the question I want to ask today is very simple. What is pain? If I take a knife and cut my finger, that is pain. If I break a bone, that is pain. If I am suffering from a heart disease, a chronic illness, is that a pain? If I cannot sleep, my body is hurting, is that a pain? No philosophy can argue with it. No spiritual teacher can convince me that my broken leg is merely a thought. Physical pain is real. The body is sending a signal. Something is wrong. Something requires attention. And because we are human beings, physical pain naturally affects our emotions. When the body hurts, sadness often follows. This is normal. This is human. But there is another form of pain that I believe comes very close to physical pain. And that is the pain of losing someone you love. When someone dies, when your parent dies, when a spouse dies, when a child dies, when a close friend disappears from your life forever, something inside us breaks. The person may no longer be physically present, but their absence becomes painfully present. You remember their voice, you remember their smile, you remember conversations that seemed ordinary at that time. And suddenly, those ordinary moments become priceless. Grief is one of the strangest experience in a human life. Part of you know death is natural. Part of you know every human being who has ever lived has eventually died. Yet another part of you refuse to accept it. Lord Krishna said in Gita that soul is immortal, it just changes the body like a cloth you change. Right? But still, death is something we are not ready to accept. That part keeps searching, keeps remembering, keeps wishing for one more conversation, one more hug, one more day. I think grief deserves respect. It should not be rushed. It should not be just. It should not be treated like a problem to be solved. Because grief is a love with nowhere to go. The deeper the love, the deeper the grief, and perhaps that is why grief feels so real. Because it comes from something real, love. So when I speak today about pain being created by the mind, I am not speaking about a physical suffering. I am not speaking lightly about the loss of loved ones. This experience deserves compassion. But after these two categories, I want to use to examine something honestly, how much of our daily suffering is actually coming from a reality, and how much is coming from the stories inside our brains. Think about your own life. How many times have you been upset because somebody had a bigger house, better job, luxury car, more money, more recognition, more followers on social media. How many times has your mind looked at somebody else's life and decided that your own life is insufficient? The interesting thing is that nothing physically happened to you. Your body was healthy, your family was still there, your home was still standing, your meal was still on the table, your suffering appeared. Why? Because a thought appeared. A thought, a comparison appeared, an expectation appeared, and the mind transformed that thought into sadness. This reminds me of my daughter. Like most children, she often asks me to buy things. Sometimes a toy, sometimes a dress, sometimes things she saw another child using. Just few months back, we were at a Rameshwaram taking the darshan of a Jyotirlinga, Rameshwar Jyotirlinga. She asked me a Labubu doll, you know. Sometimes I say no, sometimes I buy. The moment I say no, sadness appears on her face. And I tell her something that probably sound very strange. I tell her, nothing bad has happened to you. You are healthy, you are safe, you are loved. The sadness is happening inside your mind. And every time she says, yes, Papa, I know, but I still want it. And honestly, I love that answer. She's too young, to understand it. Just today, she was asking me for some smart watch which can have a SIM card and she can dial me a phone and everything. So, to be honest, she knows exactly what is happening. The desire is creating the sadness, but the desire is still there, and then I laugh. Because adults are exactly the same. The only difference is that our toys are more expensive. Children want doll, adults want luxury cars. Children want chocolates, adults want bigger bank balance. Children wants video games, adult wants promotion. The object changes. Today when my daughter was asking for that smartwatch, just before that my wife has told the story to her about the peer pressure, and when I went to drop her to her bus, she was asking me, Papa, have you ever been into peer pressure and bought things or asked for the things or demanded for the things? And she said, Ki, anything I ask, mommy says no to me. I said, Ki, if you need anything, she herself will provide. I'll provide. You don't have to ask anything. And if you're asking something and we are saying no, it means you don't need that. So to answering her peer pressure, I replied her, have you seen me? Do we have a car? Do we have a bike? Do we have like phone of 1 lakh rupees? No, na, because I don't give into peer pressure. I buy things which we need. So the object changes, the mechanism remains the same. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get this. Then we get it. For a few weeks we are happy, then the mind moves the goalpost again. Now it wants something bigger, something newer, something better. And that chase begins once more. In 2012 or 13, I was like, I should have this X salary, getting married, and a house in Mumbai. By 2016, I achieved everything, and then I'm like, oh, the goal I have created for myself was so small. So I have to work around for a bigger goal. So I created a bigger goal which took me another 6-7 years for me to achieve that goal. But then goal has been achieved. But now I have not created any new goal for me. So this is why I believe much of our suffering comes from the reality itself, but from the not sorry. This is why I believe much of our suffering comes not from a reality itself, but from attachment. The mind becomes attached to an outcome, and when reality refuses to cooperate, suffering begins. Now does this means we should stop feeling emotions? Have you seen Inside Out? The movie Inside Out, the animation movie? If you see that movie, so every emotions have their place in a life, You need anger when you are playing sport. You need anxiety when you are move things, prepare things properly. So every emotions have their part in the life. So now does this mean we should stop feeling emotions? Absolutely not. Because there is a one Guruji, Gaur Gopal Das, he said ki there was crash of a plane in Nepal where a couple of monks who were doing the practice with him were in the same monastery died, and he was asked to visit there and identify their body. He said he felt the pain. The monk is saying that. Monk is saying that he felt the pain. But the difference between a normal people and a monk is that overcoming on that pain is a faster and smoother for a monk vis-a-vis for a normal person. You know, so one thing I liked about the Gaur Gopal Das, he did not say I am monk, so I am all about that. He said that he felt the pain. So sadness is a part of being a human, otherwise you will be a stone. Anxiety is a part of being human. Fear is a part of being human. Grief is a part of being human. Without emotions, we would become machines. The goal is not to eliminate emotion. The goal is to stop becoming imprisoned by them. Feel them, respect them, learn from them, but do not build your home inside them. Let them visit, then let them leave. This is where meditation has helped me. Meditation did not make me emotionless. Meditation simply reduced the amount of time I spent trapped inside my emotions. A negative thought still comes, but it leaves faster. This is where faith, comes and helps me. Ki Lord Shiva is always there for me. And difficulty still happens, but recovery comes faster. The mind becomes calmer, more balanced, more aware. Practice like meditation, yoga nidra, conscious breathing, and silent reflection train the mind just as exercise train the body. And faith plays an important role too. For me, that faith is Shiva, as I told you. Not merely a deity to worship, but a presence to remember. A reminder that there is something larger than my fears, larger than my worries, larger than my temporary success and failures. Whenever life feels dark, faith reminds me that every tunnel has an exit. Every storm eventually passes, every wound eventually heals, every night eventually gives way to morning. Perhaps this is the ultimate lesson. Physical pain is real. Loss of loved ones is real. Everything else should be examined carefully. Because many of our daily suffering are not coming from life itself. They are coming from the stories we are telling ourselves about life. Oh, I am sad because I need a bigger home. Oh, I am sad because I need a Mercedes or BMW or Rolls Royce or Jaguar. And when we begin to see those stories clearly, something remarkable happens. We become lighter, we become calmer, we become freer. Thank you for listening. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of the people you love, and remember, not every sadness is a wound. Sometimes it is a simply thought asking for your attention. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.